Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm really happy that you are here watching this video because based on the color of the eyeshadow and the audio, you can see that we're doing a Wednesday inspired look. There are so many fun purples and shimmers, so let's get started. I went ahead and braided my hair and paired some cute bat earrings to go with the look, and of course I have to show you my shirt as well. First things first, I am going to use some tape so that way whenever I'm doing the eyeshadow, it gives me nice and clean lines. I am using Scotch tape, but I should be using cosmetic tape, but I didn't have none, so this will do for now. This will be the first time that I'm using this P. Louise Base Rumor 01, and I have heard good things about it, that it's really good. It's one of the best primers out there. I did do some research, and I also see that some people also used it to carve out their eyebrows, so it's like a 2-in-1. I really liked how bright this concealer was and how creamy it was to apply. I know some eyeshadow primers or bases can be very dry and patchy looking, but this one was not. It was super creamy. P. Louise does sell a variety of different skin tones and also a variety of different colors. So she has pink, yellow, blues, etc., which will go good with any color base look. And now that I applied it with the brush, I am using my finger to kind of smear it. And as you can see, it blends out very, very nicely. I was very surprised because sometimes, like I mentioned before, when I do use some eyeshadow primers, they are very patchy and just dry really quick. But this one stayed really creamy, almost like it was an actual concealer. So I'm going to be using the Morphe 39S palette. I will show it later on in this video in full depth so you can see all the beautiful colors. But it's mainly a lot of purples, pinks, and a lot of shimmers. And I'm using that dark purple that you saw there to blend out my crease. I've had this palette for about, I want to say 6 or 7 years, if not more. But as you can see, those colors are very pigmented. They're very smooth. They still blend out very nicely. And I really, really like this palette. The only con for this palette is that it is a very large palette. It does contain a lot of beautiful purples, pinks, and shimmers, but those are the main colors that's in there. And I feel like if I'm ever going somewhere, I wouldn't grab this one unless I need it for a specific look that requires me to have those specific colors. And now I'm going to grab that darker purple, and with a smaller packed brush, I'm going to be applying that to my crease, but I'm not going to be blending it as high as the other color. Now that I have blended out that color and moved on to the other eye, I'm going to go into the palette and get this beautiful shimmery purple color that you see here. But first, I got to show you the palette. Excuse those oily fingers that you see on that palette. Like I mentioned before, I have had this for a very long time, but this palette is very beautiful. I love the purples and the pinks and all the shimmers. I feel like this palette will be perfect for like Halloween, for raves and concerts. It's just, it only has those colors, and if I'm ever going somewhere, I want to have one that has more of a variety. But this palette is beautiful nonetheless. And with that color that I mentioned previously, that purpley shimmery color, I am going to be applying that to my base and just blending that out into those deeper purples. Pretty much going for a smoky purple look. And now that we have applied that color, I'm going back into the palette and I'm going to be choosing this beautiful shimmery color that you see here. It looks like a pink, but just wait until it's applied. Wow. It has some purple sparkle to it, and I love that. So with my finger, I'm going to be applying that all over my lid and just blending out those colors. One thing I like about those shimmers is that they're really creamy, so you can use them for your eyelids, and you can also use them for like blushes, so like a baked blush. Next, I'm going to be using the Blend Bunny Cosmetics gel liner, and with an angled flat brush, I'm going to give myself a winged eyeliner. And this is the part where you do trust the process because we have that tape and we're dragging that gel liner all the way up. It might look crazy or uneven, but once you remove the tape, it's going to give us a nice and sharp look. If you're not a big fan of winged eyeliner, the good thing about having the tape is that it's going to give the impression that you do have eyeliner, but in reality you don't. And now for the most satisfying part of this look, removing the tape. And not me struggling to get this tape off, but just look at those crisp lines. Perfect. Once you remove the tape, if there is any smudging or if the eyeliner got messed up, you can go back and just retouch up those areas. I'm going to be applying these lashes, and off camera I also went ahead and applied mascara, and I did my full face with the usual stuff that I always use. And it should look something like this. And I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to use this beautiful medium tone purple, and I'm going to be applying that to my waterline. And next I'm going to be using the Davis lip and eyeliner in the color black to just tighten my waterline. And now I'm going to be using the Essence Call Me Queen mascara, and I'm going to be applying that to my bottom lashes. Also, if throughout this video you do notice that my camera angles have changed, it's because I had to keep adjusting my camera because it would keep moving. Maybe it was the thing that was moving my camera. Ooh, spooky! And now I'm going to be using the LA Colors matte liquid liner to start creating the spider web. This is my first time making a spider web, so if it looks bad, I'm so sorry. I'm just practicing. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off by making a line all the way down. And right now I'm just trying to draw like the base of the spider, because later on in this video we'll be adding gemstones. It is a little hard to see from this angle, but once I have finished the body and the head, I'm going to move on and work on the legs as well. Now that I have the base for my spider, I am going to be using these purple gemstones. And I'm going to be using a bigger gemstone for the body and then a little smaller one for the head. I got these gemstones and this glue from Amazon, and I have noticed that this glue is quite tacky and it kind of dries pretty fast, but at the same time it's also very runny, so you have to be very quick when applying the glue. Once I am satisfied with the spider, I'm going to move on to doing the spider web, and all I'm doing is just creating lines like this, and you can do them as thin or as thick as you like. The spider and the spider web are also optional. I just really wanted to do something a little bit different, but you can do this look without that, and I think it would still look very beautiful, and it would be in theme for Wednesday. And it should look something like this. I also think that if you did the same thing to the other eye, it will also look pretty cute as well. Next, I'm going to be using the NYX Nude Truffle Lip Liner and outlining my lips. And you guys might see a lot of similar products in all my videos. I just really like using the same stuff because I'm comfortable with that. Unless I find something better, then I end up replacing that, and then that becomes my new favorite product. Plus, NYX has really good lip liners, and I didn't realize that I had a lot of duplicates. So that kind of says a lot about those colors. Next, I'm using the Morphe lip gloss in the color Free Bird, and it's a very beautiful nude color. In this step, you can apply a lipstick and then the gloss, but I just really like the way the lip liner and the gloss look and feel. Sometimes when I apply the lipstick, it can feel too cakey on my lips, if that makes any sense. And that is all for this look. I love the way the purple complements my brown eyes. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Celestial Beauty. Bye!